here.
What's going on, Whisper Nation, and welcome in to another Mock Draft Monday presented by the Fantasy Whispers. I am one of the three beautiful hosts on the show. I'm Big Travie. You can find me on Twitter at Big Travie TFW, and I am joined to your left, my right, by Austin Sear. Hey. You can find on Twitter at Austin_R_Sear.
That's true.
And on the bottom there is our man, the myth, the legend, Johnny Game Time Hicks. You can find him on Twitter at Johnny_Game Time. But now that we've introduced ourselves to you, if you want to introduce yourselves to the platform, go ahead and give us a thumbs up on your way in. Give us a subscribe over on YouTube and let us know. Rob Shorter. Dude, Rob is coming in all the way over from England, man. I'm glad. I've always loved the time of year when Rob starts getting back in on the mocks, man. I love it. Appreciate you, Rob, and appreciate everybody in here as we fill up another mock draft. Johnny, how you doing, man? Can you tell Whisper Nation a little bit about this mock?
Oh, I can definitely tell Whisper Nation about this mock, baby. Mock Draft Monday here. Save our lives. Just kidding. Well, maybe it could save our lives. You never know. 12-team Dynasty startup PPR. I'll read off here. I'll pull up here. We get a QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex spot of a wide receiver, running back, or tight end, and then a super flex, that extra quarterback in there. Maybe you won't. And we got 7 draft spots here for bench. Could go a little bit deeper than that, but we also are doing a best ball, so kind of limit that. No defense or kickers, as usual.
Speaking of deep, Calvin Brown, deep from within San Antonio, says hashtag MDM. What's up, Calvin Brown? And Austin, Scott saying it's about damn time. Is one of your Crocs, did it get a flat, Austin?
No, I didn't have my Crocs to speed through the ambiguous terrain like a Croc can handle all the time. I was dealing with something more standard, like a regular sneaker, and it's just an inferior, antiquated piece of foot technology. This is where it's at.
He's trying to say it goes flat. Those things don't go flat. There's so much bounce, so much cushion in those things, man.
No, bro.
And you gotta show him though the slides, Austin. The Yeezy slides. These things are fresh. Austin just showed me. He's got them propped up.
Johnny loves the slides. We got them.
I
up here
love my slides.
We got these ones here. We love foot technology. A little bit of bounce in your step that they provide. No, real talk to Whisper Nation before. I know not to make this a sneaker show here, but I love sneaker technology and anything that, whether it's like, the Ultra Boost coming in here that Adidas stole from Reebok, from like that Argentinian poly scientist. That was like a crazy story. Or, we've got the Air Jordans right here with the Air technology that came in, or the Crocs and the rubberized mono creation. Like, I love shoe technology. So, hit me up in the DMs if you ever want to get wonky on shoes and shoe tech. You choose, Scott.
Are the foundation of the body of fashion, we could say, and mock drafting is the foundation of your draft strategy. So it's good that we segued right into the shoe to mock draft talk. That's what we like to do here. How is our mock draft looking, Johnny? Are we full here?
We got 3 left, 3 spots. Here, let me drop. There is a link if you're watching on YouTube. The link is in the description. We also tweeted it out. Also put it in our Discord, but I'll put it in these comments right now.
Love it. Scott, Calvin Brown, Rob Shorter, all in here, all part of Whisper Nation, the strong following that we have. If you'd like to join, again, hit that subscribe button. We are in our full off-season grind right now, going live on Monday and Thursday evenings with y'all, and rocking and rolling Monday with the mock drafts. Thursday, just talking general strategy, football topics, and fantasy football outlooks for the 2022 NFL season. Gents, before we get started here, I'll kick this to Austin first. After a wild start to this free agency and offseason, it's kind of gotten a little bit calmed down. Anything else you're still waiting for? I'm still waiting for the Packers to do something at a wide receiver position, but
we've still got some names, right? That unless something happened between now and whenever it did happen, I haven't seen OBJ get picked up. I haven't seen Jarvis Landry get picked up. I've seen some notable names still available. Julio Jones, another one there. So yeah, Travi, I would be excited to see our Packers pick up a familiar name, but it also gets me a little bit concerned. It's not like any of these GMs aren't talking. It's not like any of these guys don't have the ability to go out and sign them. So if they haven't gone out and signed them, and like nobody has. What does that really say about the gas in the tank that's left?
Yeah, maybe some doubt on Jarvis Landry's ability, also Julio Jones, but also we have a situation in, like OBJ, who has the injury, who's probably not going to be back in time. And then, we just have to wait and see what happens with that. So as Scott's pointing out here, DK went on the market today. They did say a couple of days ago, basically that, based on his contract for the right price, he could be dealt. I would love to see the Packers go and make a move.
Oh my God. Can the Cardinals?
No, they can't. They had a chance to pick him up. They had a chance to pick him up. And they decided not to. They like Andy Isabella. You happy with Andy Isabella? You got your man.
Yeah, no, you trade Andy Isabella and some and get the original man in DK. Steve Keim, right your wrong, baby. Right your wrong. Bring DK to Arizona.
Would that forgive all if DK got traded over?
Hell yeah, it would.
I don't know. In Austin's opinion, I'd be sitting there thinking the same thing. It's like, wait, hold on a second. We're going to wipe away everything when you had a chance to go and draft DK.
Hey, we make mistakes.
Steve Keim does a lot.
There's a famous saying, was it love at first sight or did you need me to walk by again? DK might need to walk by again.
Yeah, it seems
I don't know. Well, I'm about to make
so
it
famous.
I don't know, man. He dragged down Budda Baker and had made a meme about it on a play that we came out on top, and somehow DK made it look like he was the hero of that play because he's that cool. So no, can Steve Keim right or wrong by picking up this trade? Maybe if he pulls one that like he did on Bill O'Brien, like if we absolutely fleece the Seahawks, and like trade Andy Isabella straight up for DK Metcalf, fine. But I would be really excited to see that. Oh, Freak Stomper.
What up, Freak Stomper? What's going on, brother? Welcome.
I mean, honestly, though, it's
got to get 3 more spots filled. Go ahead. Go ahead.
2 more spots now.
Dos más. Ocho de nueve. Let's go.
Although I will say though, the Packers are so primed to make this move. It's stupid.
Can I ask you a real question on this one here? Like, I heard Colin Cowherd break it down when the Rams signed. I'm not extra. We actually which move did happen. It doesn't matter. The point was that the smart teams right now seem to be loading up at wide receiver. It seems like that's the direction of the NFL. And so, why would they go off and add another piece? Because that's the game of the future. That's how the NFL is shaping up. But we always say, too, if somebody zigs, if everybody's zigging, maybe you should consider zagging on this. And it creates some opportunities and some holes. And I'm just wondering, if you guys think we're going to see any successful counter waves, I know teams are going to try, but do you see any successful counter waves coming to this outside wide receiver primary offensive attack that we see from the Bucks, that we see from the LA Rams? Like, are our Packers going to be able to compete, Travi, in like a run first, but still with an accurate type of quarterback? Is that makeup going to work, or do you see that teams trying, or what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, well, one thing that's very important is we have Aaron Rodgers, so that really kind of mitigates for a lot of the, issues. I mean, this is a guy who made Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Randall Cobb. Remember he got pissed because Jake Kumaro got traded off the team or cut from the team. This is a guy who makes other wide receivers. Alan Lazard is a dude because of that. Scott mentioning here the 49ers as well. I agree with that take.
Other team number 1 in the AFC last year, the Tennessee Titans. I know they have AJ Brown, but do they really?
Yeah, Cam Hayward was on Pat McAfee talking about the difference now in the league, where when we do all this spread offense and then we get all the scat backs going, you're going to see a few teams like the Titans, like the Colts, that can do the one single back, maybe even the Packers and the Niners who can rotate through backs. And that run it style, that physical style, if you've got the offensive line for it, that can dominate a game. And so it can slow down, take away from the other team, stop them from, flying all over the place. And it just really demoralizes the other team. So that's the situation where I'm looking at. Yeah, I think a few of them will do it. I think the Patriots are always looking to run. I mean, that's just been their style since Belichick's been there. So they have really good running backs over there. Damian Harris, and Ramondre Stevenson. So they're going to try and do something like that too. So yeah, I think we'll have a few of them, and some of them will pull it off. Some of them will fail miserably, of course. I think the Jets are one you got to watch because they come from a Shanahan 49ers tree, but they have a rookie quarterback. And, Michael Carter's good, but is their offensive line good enough to establish it? There's going to be a few things like that. I think there's going to be prideful coaches and prideful schemes that don't have the personnel. And I think they're one of them. Maybe the Seahawks are another one that are going to try and run it all the time, but they may not be good enough to do it. So they'll be the good, the bad, and the ugly with it for sure. Speaking of which, we got these 2 ugly spots. Boom. Freak Stomper.
Hey,
One
Freak Stomper.
One spot left.
We give it 60 seconds, and
60
if not, we roll forward.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Travis, you bring up an interesting point right there, and I'm actually feeling bad for the elite quarterbacks in the NFL because I think I see a possible pathway forward given the hard cap reality of the NFL and some of these other recipes of success. It's almost like if you have a non-elite quarterback, go up and load up on these outside weapons, just like we saw the 2 Super Bowl teams do this year with Joe Burrow, and he's got so many T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, other weapons to go along with it. LA Rams, same kind of thing. Like Matt Stafford is really good, but we're not calling Matt Stafford an elite quarterback. We never have. He's not in the top 3. He's not in the top 5. He might be right outside of that. He's certainly good enough, but he's not an elite quarterback. And he gets all of these weapons, Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, all these guys. And then you look in the past, and I know I'm kind of melding timelines here, but Tom Brady, who is an elite quarterback, he's only had 1 elite wide receiver his entire career, and that was Randy Moss. The rest of the time, he's getting it done with guys like Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. Aaron Rodgers has made his receivers elite, but we've never gotten an elite receiver that's come over to Green Bay. So it almost seems like if you're a mid to upper mid quarterback, you're going to get a bunch of these weapons. If you're an elite quarterback, they're going to go off and invest in other areas. Am I onto something maybe with that, Johnny? What do you think?
I think it's a little different. In my personal, what I've seen, I think it's more so like they know like a great quarterback can make good wide receivers great, or even subpar wide receivers good. And then whereas vice versa, you have to have a pretty good quarterback with a great wide receiver. Like that could happen, but I think in general, like the main consensus is like if you have an elite quarterback, he's going to make those wide receivers good to great himself. You don't necessarily have to go out and get that great talent to bring it in. I think that's why you've seen the Packers continuously do that, because Aaron Rodgers is great. He can make whatever, whoever out of whatever. You don't
need that elite talent at the wide receiver spot because he's going to put it on. He's going to fit it through a Coke can size hole anyways.
Yeah. So that's why he made a huge deal about, Jake or Kumaro or, like these guys that like he could just, if he likes you, he can turn you into a really good wide receiver. That's
if you're good enough, you catch the ball, he'll find it for sure. So, all right, I think we're
all right. You ready?
Call it here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get this thing going. Austin, you picked the 12 position here. Yeah. What are you feeling like in this Superflex Dynasty startup you're going to hit with?
I'm just excited to see what's coming my way. We've done all of these mock draft Mondays, Whisper Nation, and I don't think I've been really close to the front in all of them thus far. And I just wanted to try on a different outfit this time, Big Travie. What I'm hoping for, I'm looking to zag. I'm hoping that we get enough people go in one direction to call it a zig. And then I want to zag. I want to go the opposite way and see what comes out at the end of the draft.
Yeah, I'm interested because most of the Superflex mocks we do, I'm towards the end. So I was interested to see what your strategy was, because I usually end up going double quarterback at the end of these things. Yeah. Just because, as you said, everybody's getting those skill positions when they can, especially young ones in a dynasty startup. So that's kind of where your mind goes initially. Oh, okay. But I was tempted to take Josh Allen at 1. I see that our guy, Rob Shorter took Josh Allen here. Rob? Tampa Blues. Johnny, you went with Jamar Chase?
Yeah. Well,
Dynasty, right?
Yeah, Dynasty. I'm trying a little tactic. We'll see if it ends up happening here. Yeah, tic tac. There was something I wanted to do, and I just thought it would be fun. Way to try to attack
draft Jamar Chase. That's what you wanted to do.
That's the beginning. Fun. That's the beginning of the dynasty.
Well, tell us what else, dude.
Well, I'll tell you as it forms in the next round. I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
Johnny cares more about his mock drafts than he does about the content creation side of it, which is how you know that Johnny
going to come once I draft. I got gold. And here's the other thing. I can't say, Breece Hall went at 108 by Freak Stomper. The other thing is I got Jay Blizzy right next to me. All that dude does is snipe my players. So no, I don't want to tell him what I'm about to do because then he'll definitely take him. And then I rage quit. Just kidding. I don't rage quit. I actually try to pan out the rest of my draft.
So the Zag here, Austin, would probably be a quarterback based
Yeah,
on
but
what
both,
we've seen.
I would have if
Both
one
the
of
ones that
it's like I'm at B level at best now. Like, do I like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow long term? Yeah, hell yeah, I do. But I don't think I can keep up with another like the fact that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are both gone right now doesn't get me super stoked. I'm going to see who is still here. I could end up going that way. All right, I'm on the clock now. Derrick Henry Jr.
I do want to bring this up really quick because it was earlier. Sorry, Travis, cut you off here, but Calvin saying I see funky fresh AIs. That's right, boy. Courtesy Austin, I'm a main man. Got me these bad boys.
There we
put 'em
go.
up there, nice.
Look at that, baby. Oh, well, something just fell, but yeah, Austin coming through for your boy.
Happy baby.
Moonlight as a sneaker show here.
Yeah, right.
It's for the culture.
It's for the culture.
Man,
For the
I'm thinking about these quarterbacks over here. I would like a Joe Burrow, a Kyler Murray, a Lamar Jackson. You know,
you went CD Lamb in the first.
I did, dude. I'm gonna stick with these.
I'm gonna.
I love DK. I just think AJ Brown though with a whole healthy season is so freaking special. AJ Brown's yards per catch are just ridiculous. And he is, I think, like I always ask what's the value over replacement. I don't think you can replace AJ Brown. He's not just like a wide receiver one. He's a special talent. And I think they're going to figure out how to maximize his skill set here pretty soon.
I mean, he's basically all they got over there now with Julio gone. And I mean, he just continues to eat targets. And when that guy, he was doing it on his rookie year before getting targets, before getting a ton of targets.
The fact they brought over Julio Jones didn't have any impact. And like, I love Robert Woods. We all love the dynamic ability that Robert Woods brings to the table. I am not feeling like Robert Woods is going to be a significant fantasy playmaker playing in for the Tennessee Titans as the number 2 aerial option with Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback. He'll have his games. He'll have his moments. I'm just not banking him on him being a standard impact player. I think it's going to be AJ Brown over there in Tennessee as the one impactful aerial piece.
Yeah, I like that. I like that call. I do think that Woods will probably be a value later on in drafts. Maybe not in this one in a dynasty startup, but redraft situation.
What do you think about that one, Johnny? Like, I love Robert Woods. I think he's gonna be fine, but how do you see him actually shaking out fantasy wise in the Tennessee Titans offense?
I think, I don't know if you're going to necessarily get I know you're not going to get the production that he saw in LA. Now his touchdowns, yeah. Well, he'll probably did he get over 1,000 yards in Buffalo?
I got to look him back, but way before his LA days, Robert Woods was like Robert performed better than his ADP Woods. Like that's just who he was going back his like entire career, if I recall correctly.
He's a good wide receiver.
He's only had two 1,000-yard seasons.
So I don't know that necessarily
none of them were in Buffalo.
Yeah, so I don't know that he necessarily has like phenomenal value. I think he's going to be more important to Tennessee and like continuing that run offense, right? He's a really good blocker. But I do think AJ Brown is going to be the guy that you want. Well, and I keep saying that in one of these years, it's going to pan out like that. But that's I do think AJ Brown is like so on the verge of just having a mega, like,
before Julio came over, we thought he was going to be he thought he could be the number 1 wide receiver last year.
Did you feel the same way when it was Julio Jones? That's what he's saying.
Johnny called it well and did not like Julio Jones as a fantasy prospect.
No, because of where he was going and
really quick.
Like that.
Yes, Scott.
Yes,
it is a super
Scott, it is a super flex.
So, but here's the thing: like Julio or AJ Brown has the ability to have one of those like 2,000-yard receiving touch and like 10 receiving touchdown, 15 receiving touchdown seasons. Like he has that in him. Now, whether or not can he get to that level, maybe it might take, Derrick Henry being out of the league before that actually happens. But I do think he has like the body and the making of a wide receiver who could definitely do that.
One note on AJ Brown's body is that he has had a couple knee procedures already, very young in his career. So something to keep an eye on because he's had some cleanups there. But
Devontae
I love AJ Brown.
Third.
Some interesting pieces there, right?
It's so crazy,
Adams climbing down to the third, Cooper Kupp end of the second.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams were both staring me down right there. I went with
Tyreek, or I'm gonna go Devo.
I don't know why.
I'll be honest. Well, I was hoping I could get Joe Burrow. I thought I wanted to get the double dip with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And so, but Jacob Bley, draft don't lie. Jacob Bley gets
our number one fan.
Yeah.
If you guys want to join Whisper Nation like Jacob Bley did from day one, hit that subscribe button. Help us out. Help us grow the channel here. We're on our way to 3,000 subs on YouTube. Help us get there. Climbing the mountain. Hit us with a thumbs up.
You won't.
I think these drafts, I want to get your guys' take a little bit on these great redraft wide receivers we see slipping down a little further in Dynasty. Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp even falling a little bit. Do you think these guys are going in about the right position? Like, should these guys all be going after, I guess Jalen Waddle just got picked up. He oftentimes go a little bit earlier. But do you think that these positions for like Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs are about right, or are they slipping?
I think they're about right. If we're looking at what the quarterback situation is, we don't know what it's going to be. These are guys coming from, dominant numbers, but numbers with guys that they had huge rapport with. If we look at Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. So for me, it's just a little bit of questioning, like what's going to happen. It's not as secure of a, I think, Stephon Diggs and Deebo Samuel are guys that'll get schemed action. And Deebo will get schemed action, but Stephon is a guy that's tied to Josh Allen. So I actually think they probably should go ahead of some of these guys, just given their QB situation. But yeah, I think this is about the right range. I want to say what's up to Slim Reaper. Yeah, what's going on, Slim?
Because
are you okay with where they're going?
He's thinking really hard on this one, but I want to switch it over here
Sorry, I didn't hear him say my name, dude. I'm going deaf over here. I got to turn up the volume.
What do you think about the quarterback side on it? Like, because I took Aaron Rodgers here in the fourth, and Aaron Rodgers is 38, 39 years old, 38 right now. Back-to-back MVP seasons, and we expect for him probably to be good again right now, but we obviously know this isn't going to last forever. But in a dynasty startup, where do you take these quarterbacks that probably have a couple of really good years left, but they're, on the other side of 35? But then Tom Brady, does what he does. Where are we kind of evaluating these older quarterbacks in 2022? What do you think, Travis?
I think if you're going to take a Rodgers, if you're going to take a Brady, you've got to pair it in a super flex. I would like to pair it with a couple of young upstart guys. Give me a Justin Fields, a Trey Lance, couple of these guys, maybe both of those guys to pair with it so that you can, bridge that gap. So by the time Rodgers is retiring, you understand if Fields or Trey Lance is going to be it, or if you're going to have to use your rookie drafts on a quarterback. So that's kind of where I would be at with it. Trey Lance would be my preference between those two to pair with like a Rodgers, because it does seem like he's got the bigger upside for me in that Shanahan offense.
Yeah, because I was sitting here between like a Rodgers and a Stafford. Who do you think is actually better in redraft this year? What do you think, Johnny?
I think it's Stafford this year. Unless, now again, we still have the NFL draft, which Green Bay is set up to have really nice picks. So they could end up taking one of the best wide receivers and then bringing in one of these guys. Here's the other reason why I think you have some of these wide receivers that are still free agents is because they're asking more. And so teams are going to be like, okay, well, they're asking more. Are they worth it? Potentially, but I can go out and try to get something in the draft. If they don't get something in the draft, someone takes their wide receiver or whatnot, because it's such a deep class this year, then they'll be like, okay, we want to bring in Jarvis Landry or bring in someone. And then I think that's where you see the rest of these wide receivers end up landing and settling. But if Aaron Rodgers gets, one of the top wide receivers in the draft, and then let's say they bring in a Jarvis Landry or they bring in, an OBJ, even though he'll miss like half the season, I do think the half that you get with him, I do think that Rodgers will still be a very efficient, very effective quarterback.
Yeah,
I think the problem with Austin, I think the problem with Rodgers is that what we saw at Green Bay last year was just really, it was like a situation where they didn't need to always air it out to win. They just did what was necessary to win games, and they were very smart about the way that they methodically game planned for each guy. So it led to some more volatility in Rodgers as a QB, as a fantasy QB last year. So yeah, he had his big games. He's always going to have those, monster games, probably against the Bears. But yeah, I mean, these are the situations where it's like, does Stafford get in more games where, he's going to be leaned on a lot more? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could probably make the same kind of case for the Rams as well. With how they've loaded up,
And the thing
maybe in that division you could say is a little bit tougher, so they'll be in more, equally matched games.
There is a it would be fun to do an episode on this and dive into more research on it. But there is a interesting trend when it comes to veteran quarterbacks that, either switch up their offensive coordinator or they go to another team. That first year is, like they showed their potential, right? But that second year, you usually see them usually have a really good year. Now, whether or not they'll be MVP or not, like I'm not going to debate that, but generally you see, these veteran quarterbacks take that next step because they really master that offense. They had a whole, off season to be with the program and get with their guys. And so that is where I'm really intrigued by Matthew Stafford, because, we were all excited for him last year and he did well. But I think with the second year being, because we know how, it's complex. The LA Rams offense is very complex. So you get, Matthew Stafford in there for a whole, off season. He can work with and continue to work on some of those relationships with Van Jefferson and Cooper Kupp and things like that. And I do think that Matthew Stafford could even have a better year than he had this year.
Matt Stafford should have a better year next year.
Yeah, they got
this year, right?
Added Allen Robinson. He'll have Cam Akers for most of the year, or should have Cam Akers for all of the year.
Yeah,
there's no concern of regression for a 34-year-old Matt Stafford coming off a really solid year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do on the offensive line. They lost Whitworth to retirement this year, and that was a big stalwart on their offensive line. But
can we actually take a second here to have a little more conversation around Matt Stafford on this one? Because Matt Stafford finished as the number 5 overall quarterback in all formats, basically. Just under 4,900 yards, 41 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. With his first season on board in Los Angeles, where Cooper Kupp had the greatest wide receiver season we've ever seen. He keeps Cooper Kupp. We're not concerned about regression. He finished the year healthy. They pick up Allen Robinson. He's going to be over there. They've still got Van Jefferson. And we have seen them go out and get whatever help they need. If Matt Stafford does get better, as pretty much every logical point would suggest that he will, where are we taking him in fantasy right now? Like Dak Prescott or Matt Stafford?
I'm taking. I think it depends on where you're at. I think I'm fine with both of those guys. I think they're both going to be really, really good. Who do
you think does better at the end of the year? Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford. I'm asking you here, April 4th, 2022. Who finishes this year ahead?
I think
Stafford.
It's probably Stafford. But again,
the rushing upside that Dak does bring could sway the boat, but we haven't seen him kind of get going.
But the other thing is, who has the higher upside? And the answer isn't the same. The higher upside isn't Matthew Stafford. The higher upside is Dak.
Is it?
It is.
I think so.
You think so? I don't know.
I do because look, they didn't have Cam Akers for the majority of last year. Sure, they had Henderson and he plugged in, played pretty well. They also had Sony that plugged in, played well. But if Cam Akers is healthy the whole time, who knows what kind of touchdown production he takes away from Matthew Stafford. And
what about a dink and dunk? Could that help him there? Could it be another aerial weapon for him too?
Absolutely. But when you're just looking at offenses and like which one is also a little bit more explosive,
yeah,
it's Dallas. You know, and like
Dallas's offense is more explosive than Los Angeles's,
in theory.
If you ask Jerry Jones, yeah. If you ask Jerry Jones, he'd be like, "Yeah, we're the better team."
But I mean, like, real talk, like, this is a little bit different of a squad. Like CeeDee Lamb, I took CeeDee Lamb in the first round. I think CeeDee Lamb is probably the most talented young wide receiver, and right behind Jamar Chase. I think that's probably fair. But I think CeeDee Lamb is right there. But Cooper Kupp just had the best season a wide receiver's ever had. Like, in redraft, who's better this year, CeeDee Lamb or Cooper Kupp?
Well, it's for sure Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think,
I think they upgrade. Like, no offense to, I know Johnny's going to take this personally, but I think they upgrade Robert Woods to Allen Robinson. And I think that's a huge upgrade. Now you have two boundary wide receivers that can kill you, essentially. And then Van Jefferson's no slouch either. And Van, gets a chance to kind of do his thing. And
the Cowboys lost Cooper.
Yeah. They lost Amari Cooper. They're continuing to bring back the same people on offense as far as the run game, which tells me, and Stephen Jones is out here talking about, Zeke is going to continue to be a focal point for their offense, which tells me they just don't have any interest in changing and doing anything different. They're just going to roll out their studs and do the same stuff over and over again. And hopefully, it works.
Who's the Dallas coach?
Mike McCarthy, baby.
Oh, that's right. There we go.
That's our man.
That's our man right there.
Mr. Miyagi asking, if Jimmy G stays with the 49ers, is it another lost year for Lance? I actually don't think so. We saw them try to get Lance involved a little bit last year, but he had the thumb issue, I believe, where he had some sort of injury in his first game where he ran like 16 times. But Jimmy G, if he stays, I think we're seeing the market kind of adjust for Jimmy G's surgery that he had. He could end up staying one more year. There's a reality where that happens, but I think they would still even try to get Lance involved, maybe halfway through the year or at the bye week.
What's really wild is these are the rumors that the 49ers camp had told Trey Lance and his like quarterback coach or whatever his like little group, like the certain things that he needed to work on in the offseason to get ready for next year. And apparently, according to source says that they gave the indication to Lance that he is getting the ropes for this next season. He will be the quarterback. Now, again, I think.
Well, I mean, Shanahan went out and said as much at their recent press conference, but.
And I think ultimately they do want to transition to Lance. I think that they feel he's ready. However, obviously it's going to be dictated by what Jimmy G does and whether or not they can trade him. And again, what Travis had alluded to or said was that, there's not much of a market there right now because Jimmy G's still going through the shoulder surgery. So that's also why the 49ers don't want to trade him right now because his value is lower.
You interested at all in some Trey Lance, Austin? I didn't see you jump in on any Trey Lance talk. I know the young QB isn't your speed.
I think that the 49ers are the perfect team to keep both of these guys going for at least one more season. I have no idea how good Jimmy Garoppolo is. I don't know how anybody gives a full take on what they think this man is about. Like, I've never seen this guy play a full season. I haven't seen this guy in enough clutch moments. I haven't seen this. There's always like shifting variables, and they shifted too many times, whether that be his skill positions, his expectations.
People love him because he's a winner. He's just a winner. That's what
is he though? I don't know why. Look at his plays on a winning team. Yeah, but so is
whole life.
Rex Grossman. Like I'm not. He's been a part of winning squads.
You cannot compare.
I absolutely can. Sure, I can because I haven't seen Jimmy Garoppolo do anything. What has he done?
Grossman did not have a winning record.
He took him to the Super Bowl, my man. Like that's pretty winning right there. At least
he did not do that. He did not do that.
And what has Jimmy Garoppolo done? Value over replacement.
Sexy
value over replacement.
No,
Sexy. If you swap Jimmy Garoppolo, and Sexy Rexy, who goes further?
You're not. That's not a serious question.
It is a serious question because
really
how good is
think-
Jimmy Garoppolo?
I think the comp is it's not as outlandish as you would think, Johnny. I think the comp.
Oh, it's pretty outlandish. You're comparing.
What is Jimmy Garoppolo? I'm not even trying to be shitty here. I'm genuinely curious. Like, why do we think Jimmy Garoppolo is anything? Like, yes, he's playing quarterback, but value over replacement. Like, take a Jag quarterback, just a guy, and put him in as the starting quarterback for the 49ers. He can listen to rules. He can follow the formula. And he's got Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and a stellar defense doing the thing. Like, what's the value over replacement for Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy Garoppolo feels like a LaCroix version of Kirk Cousins. Like, he's a little bit watered down. He's not exactly the same flavor, but he's going to make big mistakes in the moments that you need him the most. Yeah, he has wins because, Shanahan's going to be able to scheme him into wins. Like, Kirk Cousins has plenty of wins in games where he slings it out, but these aren't guys you really, really want to be the franchise quarterback for you. Now, some teams would take him. I think Indy would be interested, if they didn't go get Matt Ryan. I thought it was a good fit. The late surgery kind of hurt that, but we'll see where he lands. Seattle could be a decent fit for Jimmy G. Pair him with a run game.
What Jimmy G touchdown to interception ratio, top of the head. Does anybody know it?
No,
I don't either.
Well, I'll tell you, he threw. I have it pulled up here. He had. Hold on, I had it, and then passing touchdowns. So he had
71 to 38. So he's pretty far below 2-1. That's concerning to me. He's below a 2-1 touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, like I think he's just too mistake prone sometimes to be considered a franchise.
And I don't think he's a playmaker.
But
so he makes mistakes, and does he make plays? Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a Jimmy Garoppolo highlight. So it's like he's kind of a bad game manager, but he's handsome and he shows up on time,
and he's dating porn stars.
Yeah, who knows what that dude's cooking with, man.
That's it, dude.
Tell me why Jimmy Garoppolo is better than like a slightly below average game manager.
So I think he's better than like your Carson Wentz's and your Baker Mayfields and your, to this point Tua. But that could be that could change. Tua's got a good year set up here, finally. I think to kind of make his stake. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he's like a B-rated game manager in my opinion. I don't know that he's pretty up there in my opinion.
Jimmy G it has a just under 72% win percentage. Rex Grossman, Austin's guy,
playing for the Patriots and the 49ers.
Austin's guy here, Sexy Rexy, was 25-22 as a quarterback. He was not
above 500. He has an above. Are you serious? He has an above 500 win record. Rex Grossman won more games than he lost. Is that what you're telling me?
He won 3 more games than he.
Rex Grossman won more games than he lost. I'm actually surprised that Rex Grossman has an above 500 win record. What's Baker Mayfield's win record?
Dude. Again, you're getting Jimmy G is 72%. So that's why people really like Jimmy G and want.
Does that have anything to do with Jimmy G, though?
He is a really good game manager. And you don't need this flashy guy. And that's like the big thing that everyone like thinks that you need is this big flashy guy at the quarterback position. And you really don't.
You just need a guy who's not going to make a lot of mistakes and who's going to keep driving the ball down the field. Is that Jimmy Garoppolo?
Right. Yes. That's why he's been able to. Bro, he's beat the Packers. He's the quarterback that's beat the Packers out of the playoffs the last few years.
No, he's been the quarterback for the team that has beat us.
He's won.
You can't put it on Jimmy G beating the Packers because they choke in the playoffs. So that's not really a Jimmy G.
He's been the quarterback for the team that has beat us.
Yeah, and
No doubt.
He choked in big moments too. He choked in the Super Bowl, and he choked last year against the Rams.
He also, what about when he didn't in the do we forget the week 17?
He never did not
18?
choke because he doesn't have a ring. So you're saying you can use a Jimmy G, and that hasn't been like who have you used?
What are we doing here? What do we?
We're trying to figure out if Jimmy G is
good
a
at
Jag.
football.
He's a good football player. He wins games. Now, if you're asking, is he a good fantasy football player? No. But is he a good quarterback? And why do teams covet him? Because he's a winner. He just wins games.
Teams covet him?
Yes. There are several teams that want him right now, but they haven't had a formal offer because he's hurt. That is his big thing. He's always hurt. Like there's always something wrong. That is the one downfall. But
dude, I love to be surprised.
He wins.
I love to be surprised in a positive fashion, and I would love to say I'm wrong on Jimmy G. I would love to say I'm wrong on Jimmy G. I just don't know if he is a good football player. I don't know.
Awesome. When we're looking at round 10 here, and then I'll ask Johnny here for round 11. Maybe we'll get by there. Actually, I'll ask Johnny, or I'll ask Austin here because Johnny's about to pick. In a round 10, any of these picks stick out for you in this Dynasty startup that we're rocking with here? Like that Kadarius Toney pick.
I know.
That's my favorite of the bunch.
It was kind of a panic pick there. Who do I go with? I need a running back here. I could go with my theory and get Myles Gaskin, and I'll have at least a running back for some. No, I'm going to go Alexander Madison here. I don't really like that, but
Madison over Gaskin. I like to take
damn it.
Gaskin.
I didn't. Fuck. Ronald Jones is right here. Damn it. That's where I should have went. Well, whoever.
Good boy.
Yeah, he's not going to make it back to me, so someone's going to get him. But actually, that would have been a better one than Alexander Madison, because at least he should get more opportunity. Rojo. This
Calvin Brown says Jimmy G is a decent streamer, and if you punt on QB, he's a viable fantasy starter. Like almost any other QB, you have to live and die with him week to week. Yeah, I mean, you can get by streaming for sure. We were more talking as a franchise for sure. But, Jimmy G still wasn't going to wow you. They run so much in San Fran. It's like he doesn't get the touchdowns you'd want to see normally from a streaming quarterback in the big games. So that's what gets a little bit tough when you stream a guy like Jimmy G. Be interesting to see if he gets dealt, though, with this injury. Baker's still not dealt either. That's the surprising one. I thought he would have been dealt to Seattle by now.
Yeah, so I guess it's Seattle is interested, but they don't necessarily want to pay the contract. And I guess they are also very much interested in Drew Lock. Like that wasn't just a throw in, I guess, or that was what was being reported. It was like the Drew Lock wasn't just a throw in. Like they legitimately like him and think that he can run their offense. And then like they're also trying to re-sign Geno Smith because it was just a 1-year deal that they had him under, or a 2-year, but it's up now. And he played pretty well for them. So I guess they're trying to like figure that out before they, make a formal offer, I guess, for Baker. But there's also reports that Carolina is a little bit interested, not so much in trading for him, but if he gets released, they would be intrigued by bringing him in.
On that topic there, I want to say that I think that Baker Mayfield is the quarterback I would rather have going to my franchise than Jimmy Garoppolo right now. If I'm a team that needs to take a shot on a new franchise face, a new guy behind center, that maybe, you're still going to draft another quarterback next year, maybe this year, but you want somebody that gives you hope. I'm going Baker. I like what Baker brings from a ceiling lifting perspective, from an excitement perspective. But also if I'm Cleveland, I'm taking Jimmy Garoppolo to sit there while Deshaun Watson is suspended over Baker Mayfield this year. Like, I just want to see that switch up happen. But if I'm a team that doesn't have a connection to either one of these dudes, and I need one to be my at least temporary face of the franchise, I'm going Baker. You with me, Johnny?
Yeah. I think I think Baker will get another opportunity. I think he is a good quarterback. You talked about his record. I know that he's not or he's around 500% or win percentage is 50 or 500, but it is saying something because he is coming from Cleveland. So I always throw that caveat in there, like,
which is true. And on the same token, works the same way on the opposite end for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Sear, you're going to the weed store way too often.
Am I speaking that clear? Am I speaking that elevated? Am I that?
Up? Yeah,
adding extra perspective to your thought process.
Do it 420 says, "Hi guys, what's going on?" Speaking of weed, speaking of the weed store, Scott asking if we're doing Underdog. Are you dropping the link in Sleeper first? We will be dropping it in here for y'all, so stick with us as we do the Underdog best ball draft right after this one. I gotta get in here
after we get through our draft grades, and then we'll drop that link. But yes, we'll get it. We'll get it to you, Scott.
That's right, Whisper Nation. We're going to be doing a best ball draft right after this one. Real money, real best ball tournament, drafting alongside with you. We're going to do a 6-person draft. It's going to be the 3 of us, me, Johnny, and Travis. And then the first 3 that show up will be a part of that best ball tournament. We're going to do it right after we get done with our draft grades for this one. Rashma.
Well,
I like what you did there, Travis, with the Danny Dimes and Mitch after and having Ryan Tannehill. Like the way that you went about. Like
I hate this. I
absolutely hate it.
Can you turn around?
Can you give us a bit of a breakdown, Travi, on your team? Because normally we don't do the draft grades on our own squad. So maybe as we come down to the end of it here, Travi, you can share us maybe a little of what you put together on your squad, what you like, what you don't.
I don't like a lot of it. DK, I went with. I wish I would have done like a Deebo Samuel or even a Tyreek Hill here. But that's all right. I went a little more win now, then after that, Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, Fournette. But I do like the squad. I think it's not a huge dynasty startup strength here. So then if it's win now with my skill position players, I had to get guys that add a little bit of mobility. Ryan Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Mitch Trubisky. So all 3 of those guys, very, very watered down versions of Lamar Jackson. But I am excited for their new situations. Obviously sarcasm in there. Cortland Sutton and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, I think all with new situations, around them. I think it's all going to be really good. And I'm excited for at least 1 or 2 of those guys to really have a breakout year this season. So I like what I did here. I think it can be serviceable. If Mitch Trubisky, if they build that offense around his strengths, that guy was a decent fantasy quarterback in Chicago. In Matt Nagy's system, which has kind of killed offensive stars over the last few years. So I think it's possible. I think Mitch Trubisky could shock some people here. He's a definite sleeper QB.
I do too. Look at what Mike Tomlin has done look what Mike Tomlin did last year with the 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. They made the playoffs. Mitch Trubisky's got more in the tank than that.
So much talent at the wide receiver position over there. So much talent at the tight end position, running back. I think there's some stuff here to cook with for Mitch Trubisky. So I'm excited about it.
I think you got a really good win now team right now. You got the best running back, and then you got Mixon. You got 2 top 5s, and then DK. And
I don't like waiting on
quarterback position. A little scary.
Yeah, in Superflex, but I think if I get these 2 of those should work out.
Johnny, what about you, man? What do you think about your squad? You want to give us like a quick breakdown on what you did for yourself?
I think it's decent. I kind of got trapped in like, am I trying to win now or win in the future? But so like that's where I kind of
win back to the future.
Win back to the future here. Hold on, I'm going to take my boy here real quick, and then I'll break. So I got obviously start off wide receiver. I stacked my wide receivers. I really like my wide receiver class here. Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel.
I'm gonna scroll up just a little bit so we can see that top one.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, Devonta Smith, Hunter Renfrow, Kadarius Toney. I think that I like all those wide receivers. I think, and I was looking to try to get Kenny G, but he went right before me, of course, because Jay Blizzy sniped it from me. And then my running backs, Aaron Jones, James Robinson, Alexander Madison, Trey Sermon. So definitely have some running back needs here. But quarterbacks, I got Dak Prescott, Derek Carr. I think 2 solid quarterbacks. I also grabbed Baker just now. So, and then my tight ends, Mark Andrews, friend of the show, and Hunter Henry. So I like my team. I think it's solid. I do have some areas of dire need though at running back. Like, could get real scary, real thin, quick.
Jones, Robinson play every game. Don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And then you're kicking ass this year, bro.
Yeah. Then maybe.
No, I like it a lot on that side. I mean,
Austin-
like Jones, Robinson, great. Like 2 starters there, and then like you're stacked at receiver, and like you didn't sacrifice anything at the quarterbacking spot. Like it might not be a sharp strength, but you're not looking at any holes there with Carr and Prescott, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, if Carr like can elevate his game, then you're going to look at it like a great super flex quarterback, like
Right.
your second. You know what I mean? So he's just got to get a little bit better, and I think Devontae Adams should help him get a little bit better, right? Like that only makes sense. But we'll see what happens there. Austin, what about you, man? Let's hear your breakdown.
I
here.
kind of like it. You know, Lamb and Brown. I got my 2 favorite young wide receivers. I think they're great for win now. I think they're great for win over the next 10 years. And then I was kind of surprised about the running back talent that I was still able to pick up there with Antonio Gibson, Michael Carter, and Elijah Mitchell. Like Antonio Gibson and Elijah Mitchell, we're looking at 2 very, very startable, a running back 1 and a running back 2, who I think will do even better. Michael Carter had really nice flashes, picked up some youth at the running back spot to go along with there. And then Kenneth Gainwell, who's just in his 2nd year. I know he didn't do a lot last year, but you know, we'll see what happens with Doug Peterson, with a new head coach over there for the Eagles. Doug Peterson's with Jacksonville now. And to see what's about. Like there's just a possibility. I like a little dart throw on Kenneth Gainwell later on in drafts. So I like my running back situation. We talked about my top 2 wide receivers in Lamb and Antonio Brown or AJ Brown, like that. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 7th. I think that's a sneaky pick up there. That's pretty late. And then Bateman, Bell, and Ross to put in there. I like my wide receiver depth, and it is a super flex. Aaron Rodgers and T Law coming in. I don't think it's the best combo, but it could be really strong. You know, Aaron Rodgers, we'll see about him over the next couple of years. We'll see about this year. In hindsight, I probably would have gone a different direction, but he's on my team and I don't hate it. And then Trevor Lawrence, last year was just a write-off year for me with everything Jacksonville had going on. That was all weird. I'm excited to see what Trevor Lawrence is, and I hope Doug Peterson can do him well. We'll see.
I love your core of the 2 wide receivers, the 3 wide receivers really, and the 3 running backs.
Yeah.
Like Gibson, Carter, and Mitchell, I think could just have monster years for a couple years to come here too, especially Mitchell in the San Fran offense. And then obviously Lamb, Brown, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's some really juicy wide receiver play there too.
A nice core, right? I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
And young too, so that's beautiful. Well, we did it, guys.
Yeah,
We've got another one in the books here. This was a Dynasty 12-team Superflex Dynasty startup. Sorry, mouthful there. And we mocked here with a bunch of you from Whisper Nation. So we're going to roll through these grades, and then we're going to drop our Underdog link so you guys can mock with us on a best ball tournament. But before we do that, let's roll through our grades here. Johnny, I'll let you start here. You want to get BroCal, Tampa, and Death by Rona?
Yeah, I can do that. All right, I'll start it off. We got BroCal 38 with that number 2 overall draft pick selection here. Start out with Justin Jefferson, number 1 wide receiver off the board. Then went Austin Eckler. Actually, I'm going to put in a rewind real quick because I'll do the wide receiver class and then I'll break down his running backs. So grab Justin Jefferson in the 1st. His other wide receivers are Michael Pittman, which he grabbed in the 6th round. You got our guy BMW in the 9th round. And then Laviska Shenault all the way down in the 13th round. So pretty solid wide receiver group right there. Running backs, Austin Eckler in the 2nd, Nick Chubb in the 3rd. That's a really nice little combo right there on the turnaround. Then in the 8th, got Miles Sanders, forgotten kind of running back in Philadelphia there. And then Rashad Penny, Chuba Hubbard, and Zach Moss there in the 11th, 12th, and 14th round. Very, very well done, BroCal. Like that's very nice stack of running backs. Jumping over to the quarterbacks, you could see here is where kind of you definitely felt the impact of waiting on a quarterback. Yeah, Justin Fields in the 4th there, Tua Tagovailoa in the 5th, So those two quarterbacks they have a lot of upside, right? Certainly, but the downside could be quite scary. Also went with Willis, rookie quarterback, and Jimmy Garoppolo there in the 15th. So overall, and then, tight end got Dallas Goedert there in the 7th round. So pretty solid team, actually. Like, as I'm breaking this all down, again, biggest kind of hole, I guess, if you could call it that, would be at the quarterback position, but it's more of just like question marks, not necessarily like a gaping hole. So yeah, I like this. I like this team.
Gaping.
Yes. All right. So Austin, what do you get
Keep
here?
it a family show,
grade?
dude.
What grade?
Yeah,
here?
bro. Gaping, huh? Okay, I got great on paper, but I'm scared.
Ooh,
That's what I've got on this. Great on paper, but I'm scared. Like, I if I'm going a letter grade on this one, I don't see myself. I don't know if I can go below a B+ on this, but I'm scared about Austin Eckler's health. I'm scared about Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Browns offense. We saw Nick Chubb miss some time last year. That could be a sign of things to come. I hope it's not. He's my dynasty running back too, but it is what it is. Fields and Tua Tagovailoa could end up being like two of the best quarterbacks over the next generation fantasy wise. They also could be names that we talk about, like we talk about Mitch Trubisky. It could be like we talk about Mitch Trubisky. You know, like they're, give him a shot. Let's see him do it. They've had a couple good games, but they're not franchise dudes. They end up getting replaced and they kind of move through purgatory through their NFL careers. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can see a pathway where that goes down. And Pittman, Mike Williams, like, he got that fat deal. We love what he's about, but like, he's never had it done a full season long. And I just see more of that throughout the team. Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, Laviska Shenault, Zach Moss, a lot of these guys that their highlights are stellar, but they haven't been able to stitch it together over the entirety of a year. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that moving forward.
Yeah, it was tough to give it a letter grade, so I gave it 2 essentially, C- or C+, B- because I couldn't figure it out. I think it's, like Austin said, it's kind of good on paper. You know, aesthetically, you look at it, you like it, but I think that there's a lot of it that you're like, oh, this is actually gonna, I'm gonna be shit, down creek without a paddle, essentially, and I think that could end up happening. We're like, oh yeah, Justin Fields and Tua could be awesome. They also could be busts and out of the league in 2 years. I could actually see that happening. So that's the unfortunate part about this, but not a bad one on paper. And for a mock where, it doesn't even matter, it looks good.
Looks really good.
Yeah. All right. You got Tampa Blues. I'll do these 3 and then,
okay.
And then, so Tampa Blues, we got took quarterback first and second. So you got Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts as his 2 quarterbacks, pretty solid there. And then took a running back, Cam Akers, in the 3rd. So pair Cam Akers with AJ Dillon the 7th. I was looking at that. I was bummed he got taken right before me. Also getting Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother, coming out rookie. We'll see where he ends up landing. Oh, took a bunch of rookie running backs here. You got Robinson and Pierce, and then also has Darrell Henderson there in the 13th. So running back room could be a little bit shaky. A lot of rookie running backs. We'll see where they end up landing and what their kind of depth chart landing spot looks like, but that could be a little bit risky. As far as wide receivers, Deontay Johnson in the 4th, T. Higgins in the 5th, like those 2, Allen Robinson in the 8th, Adam Thielen in the 9th, took Watson, rookie in the 11th, and Pierce in the 15th, another rookie wide receiver. We'll see where those guys go, but overall, that initial core is pretty nice. And Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, those 4 wide receivers, I think you'd be set with for this year. Tight end, Hawkinson, took him in the 6th. And that is your whole team. That's a pretty solid team there. So last time I started with Austin. This time I'll start with Travis. What kind of grade letter you get this?
Yeah, you remember in like kindergarten, you're like painting toast and you're making macaroni necklaces, and then teacher comes at the end of the day and gives you a gold star. That is what I'm giving to my guy Tampa Blues here. And that's because I really can't poke any holes. You could say the running backs. I get that. But I like that, you're only starting 2 of them. He's got Cam Akers and Dillon for now. We don't know where these rookies are going to wind up. Let's say one of them got to a decent position and he was able to get them there. But I think other than that, there's no holes on this roster. So it's really about his bench running backs, which
Mhm.
in Dynasty, that's kind of okay because you're going to turn those guys over quicker anyway. So, yeah, I think, I didn't want to be boring and just give him an A, so I gave him a gold star.
I'm kind of with you there, Travis. I'm going B with upside.
It's a top heavy B.
Top heavy.
I was trying to allude to upside on this one. A big ceiling for this B. That's what you can see right there, and it's because it's right now where it's at outside of the quarterbacks. Which in a super flex, it's nice to have strong quarterbacks, which he has right here. I love this combo of Josh Allen, who's been the back-to-back #1 overall fantasy quarterback last 2 years, and Jalen Hurts, who is just a reasonable game plan and take his foot off the brake away from being a perennial top 5 quarterback. We'll see. Mobile quarterbacks have their question marks, but moving on from that, it's just stellar. It's really nice. Cam Akers we'll call him his anchor running back because I kind of have to right now. He doesn't have another one that is going to even be the starting running back. And that's why he gets a B for me, is he only has one starting running back on his team. Now with Robinson and Pierce, throw in Cook, Henderson, and Dillon, you've got a nice probable bench that's coming together. And who knows, as Travis said, what's going to happen with these rookie running backs. But as Travis said, we'll see what happens with these rookie running backs. They could end up being not starters as well. So I can't get more excited yet, but that's why it's got to be with upside. I like where he situated himself. Hawkinson is one of the better younger tight ends that you could pick up, win now, win later. The wide receivers aren't super intimidating, but they're low-key destructive for your squad. I like it. Deontay Johnson, T. Higgins, Thielen Robinson, and then some younger pieces to come in there. I like it a lot. I think you're going to be happy with this team for a long time. Solid foundation.
All right. And I'll round out here with Mr. Scott, Death by Rona. Took, and with his first pick, Najee Harris with 104, Najee. Then his other running backs, he went David Montgomery all the way in the 4th, CEH in the 7th, Kareem Hunt in the 8th, Chase Edmonds in the 9th. He took Chase Edmonds, boys, even though Chase Edmonds is going to be wearing Crocs. So maybe Scott's coming around on the Croc talk there.
You a Croc fan?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Scott pointed that out, that Chase Edmonds probably wears Crocs. Pretty solid running backs there. In the 2nd, you went with Cooper Kupp, grabbed the 4th, 5th wide receiver off the board. Is paired that wide receiver with Michael Thomas in the 6th. I like that value. Got Calvin Ridley all the way in the 11th. Well, obviously taking next year off, but then we'll see what ends up happening after that. Got Bobby T, our guy, in the 12th. Rondale Moore, that's a good one, in the 13th. Mecole Hardman in the 14th. And then Callaway, our guy, all the way in the 15th. Pretty good job there. I like that. And then George Kittle in the 5th as his tight end. And then his 2 quarterbacks were Deshaun Watson in the 3rd, and then Jameis Winston in the 10th. This is a good team. Scott drafted a good team. All right, Austin, what grade do you give him?
I'm still stuck right now on this quarterbacking situation. I like Watson and Winston.
He could be really screwed for half this season.
I know.
But then Dynasty, though, long term, he probably go.
He could still be screwed.
He could still be screwed.
Yeah, I guess he
sure. That's I really just can't get past there on this
he just went for Johnny's heart here. Johnny's like, this is a great team. It's because, you drafted Chase Edmonds and Mecole Hardman and Marquez Callaway. Robert Woods, too. Of course you think this team is great. Exactly. There you go.
Michael Thomas. This is a good team.
Luckily, he wanted you grading this team for sure.
This is you know what this team is to me? This to me is a $1 million possible lottery ticket. That's what it is to me on this one. And it's just I can't give a solid answer when we're dealing with guys who haven't played football in over a year and a half. I'm talking about Michael Thomas. I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. I'm talking about there's just, and then the rest of the squad is just a little bit.
Calvin Ridley will be on that same timetable.
Calvin Ridley, right? It's this team that it could be the best team.
His team name is We Are the Future.
This is Kanye West's fantasy football team right here.
It kind of is, yeah. It's got 2 sides. It's an A or a C minus. It's an A or a C minus for me. It's a lottery ticket.
I said that C is for Crocs. It's also for average. And I think that this team, it just has too many. I think Austin put it really well there. It just has too many things that are like, man, it could go really good or really bad. And so I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to go C. I'm going to hedge my bet.
All right.
Is me or you, Travi?
You could go for this one, Austin, if you're good.
All right.
Do you want to do BJ, Blizzy, and Freak Stomp?
There we go. Brett Johnson, what's up, man? That's our back-to-back League of Record champion. Always a treat to have you with us here. Dalvin Cook in the 5th, followed by DeAndre Swift in the 2nd, going for a couple of win now running backs, and Devontae Adams in the 3rd. We're keeping that win now trend ahead. Matt Stafford, Tom Brady. This man can put a fit together. Keenan Allen and James Conner. I'm just going to stop there on those first 7 picks. Are solid. These are all great win now pieces that I would say good luck having anybody else that you're playing up against. Chase Claypool's got a little bit more shelf life to him, along with Jalen Reagor, Tyler Boyd, and Julio Jones. Nice depth pieces there. Dawson Knox, Zach Ertz, good tight end spot here. You know, this team is going to, I think, has the possibility to struggle in 2 years, but that's not where we're at. We are where we are today. I like this squad. You're gonna be in the playoffs for sure, barring something weird. But what about you guys? What do you think, Johnny? Go for it.
Yeah, I'd say C- for me.
C-.
I think
Yeah,
he's salty because we graded Scott's team so bad.
No.
Tell us why.
Because okay, maybe he produces this year. Maybe he gets his team together for this year, and these guys are like. But there was a lot of these guys that like popped off last year. So, and Dalvin Cook could be out of the league. We don't know about that situation. James Conner, how many years does he have left? Maybe 2. So like, yeah, could he be in potential? Like, you better hope he wins it this year, or maybe he might be able to get another, but
he's got a strong 2-year window.
I don't even know if it's 2 years, to be honest with you, because Tom Brady probably won't be back next year. Mariota, we'll see if he even has a job next year. And then you look at just, again, some of these other, is Dalvin Cook could be out of the league. James Conner, we'll see health. He's always dealt with health with his stuff. I do like Knox. I do like Ertz. Those are solid tight ends. Wide receivers are solid Well, I'll get Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Chase Claypool, all those 3 are pretty solid, but they're near the end of their career as opposed to earlier. So it's going to be in rebuild mode pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine. All right, Travis.
This is a typical BJ. This is what
Nice.
Brett does. For those of you that don't know that aren't in our League of Records or Dynasty teams, he drafts guys that he can trust. It's guys that he can count on, guys that are they could be very vanilla for the rest of us. Like Johnny had plenty of things to say about this team, but at the end of the day, it ends up producing some numbers. And I think that's what'll probably happen here. I think as Johnny started to grade it, he saw that the wide receivers were actually pretty decent. But for a dynasty startup, yeah, I can see why you graded it.
This is a good redraft team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he might not have even known. So let us know.
Fair. Yeah. Fair point.
Jay Blizzy next.
Jay Blizzy takes Christian McCaffrey in the 7 spot and Javonte Williams there in the 2nd round. The rest of his running backs, Melvin Gordon and Khalil Herbert, to round it out. Okay, you expect to have some strong win now, barring health there with CMC and Javonte Williams, and they're both young. CMC is still technically young. We'll talk about the tread on the tires, though, is something to consider, and the propensity to be getting injured. But moving on, Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin, and Jerry Jeudy would be your 1, 2, 3 wide receivers. I like that this year. I like that the next few years. I think that's pretty strong. Juju Smith-Schuster and Kenny Golladay are fine depth pieces for you. I mean, there's only 2 starting wide receivers here too. So I think you're in a good spot with these wide receivers for both win now and with a little bit of shelf life to boot. Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Zach Wilson, and Carson Wentz. I think you set yourself up really nicely to have 2 decent plus quarterbacks every single week. And then Darren Waller and Dalton Schultz. Nice. These are good tight ends. They're going to last you a few years. You'll have to pick up some tight ends at some point in time, but don't we all? So breaking it down, I think that's, I don't see any holes on my end, but what about you, Travis? How are you seeing Josh Blizzy, former Whisper Listener League champion.
Blizzy just kind of does this. He comes in and drafts decent teams. I think this is, similar to a dessert like vanilla ice cream. This is going to get the job done. It is still ice cream. You're going to feel good after the endorphins are going to hit, but it's not really popping off the page to you in any big way. So I think it's a fine team. I think this will get it done. I like this team actually much better than Brett Johnson's team. That we just got done grading, but I think they're very similar in the build, and what we're talking about here. They're just guys that are going to get it done for you, and you'll probably inch away a few wins. Probably a lot of close wins. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think you're right on this one. What about you, Johnny?
To the moon.
To the moon, A minus.
A minus. That's what I got. I think it's a good. I think it's a good team.
Yeah, got no disagreements on this one. All right, let's hear about our other boy here, Fareek Stomper, who takes the first rookie running back off the board there in Breece Hall. We'll see where he ends up landing, but popular pick there. Picks up his 2 quarterbacks in rounds 2 and 3, Lamar Jackson and Trey Lance. Could be really nice. He didn't get another quarterback, though. We don't know if Trey Lance is going to be the starter, so that could be a issue for you as the season progresses. We'll see. Burks, DJ Moore, and Drake London. I see what we're doing here. You go in the youth front on this. Not a bad way to go about it. The future moves fast, and you will have presumably a lot of the next generation's leaders on this team for you. Damian Harris right now is your only running back, and Ronald Jones running backs on a team. But I'll even say, those are not horrible running backs to have as your 1-2 running backs on your squads. Ronald Jones could end up being an absolute steal. And Damian Harris was the RB number 8 in standard, 14 in PPR last year. And I think he might regress a little bit with Ramondre Stevenson, but he's shown us what he can do, and he's still on the team. So I think that this squad here, and then Gesicki there at your tight end, that's good for now, good for the future. You got a rookie backup there for you too. This team is a young team. Obviously, you committed hard, but I think you probably are going to win some games this year, and you're looking forward to the future more than anybody else in this draft is. So we started with Travi last time. We'll start with Johnny this time. No, we didn't. Travi. Or go ahead, Johnny. You're right there. Go for it.
Youth of the
nation.
That's what I got.
We are.
Yeah. That's there's a lot of talent on here, and then even the receivers that you did get or players that you did get, they're on the younger side. So I think this is setting yourself up. You could surprise people this year, but again, 2 or 3 years from now, I think this team is going to be one of the better teams.
You got to shout out Gabe Davis here too in the 13th round. You just got the clear-cut number 2 for the best fantasy quarterback in the NFL, who finished his season on absolute fire.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, as Austin started talking about this team more and more, I got more excited about it. Especially he built with the youth at the beginning, but then anchored it with 2 amazingly high upside quarterbacks, right? That he put there. But then in the late rounds, like Damian Harris, Gesicki, Ronald Jones, OBJ, Gabe Davis, all these guys are hot. These are great picks to get late here. So I said sneaky good B- here. I think that this team is actually, I think Austin, you put it well. He could get wins this year and be on track to be set up pretty nice for the youth too. So
this is like that team in your league when everyone, and he comes out saying in the beginning, I'm drafting for the future and everybody knows. And then if he beats you, you're like, no,
you can't give up wins now. Yeah,
can't give up wins now. He's going to be running the whole league in 2 years,
right?
And it's going to be like that. I want to give a shout out to what's up, Ronald, coming in here.
Ronald?
Love you too, Josh, man. Thanks for coming in as always. Appreciate the love, Brett Johnson.
All right, I will take down the news here. Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray are his quarterbacks. He drafted them 1 and 2, and then never drafted another quarterback again. He's got Tyreek Hill, Elijah Moore, Marquise Brown, Williams, Olave at wide receiver, as well as Moore. So a few rookies sprinkled in there with some vets. Christian Kirk and his massive contract was the last wide receiver he took there. And then for the running back, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne, both coming off injury-riddled seasons. Myles Gaskin, Chris Carson. Speaking of injury-riddled, Chris Carson, Naheem Hines as well. So a dicey running back core, but if they're all together, could be pretty good. Pat Freiermuth, was his tight end. He only drafted the one there, but you like the youth at tight end there. So, boys, I'll start with you, Austin. What do we think, brother?
Oh, shit.
We'll start with Johnny.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go B plus.
B plus. You like this one, huh?
I think that there's a good amount of upside, but also paired that with, guys that can produce now and could also set you up for a couple of years. So I don't think it's like you have to win this year, but I do think that you have multiple years of upside in this team. Again, Travis Etienne and like the running back's a little quite scary, I should say. But I do think Barkley ends up having like a somewhat solid year, and then we'll see how the rest of these pan out.
Austin, what do you think, man? It was so scary you couldn't find your board.
I know, it scared the pen right out of my hand on this one. I got to go with a familiar side on this one. It's a bit of a cop out because it's a cop out because I've already used this one before, but it's got the high ceiling B on this one, and that's coming from the quarterbacking position. When you got Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray as your 1-2 right here, I mean, Kyler Murray was the number 1 overall quarterback before things got funky for him. Do I think that continues? I've got some question marks that I'd love to see answered. I'd love it if Kyler Murray was the number 1 overall fantasy quarterback. But with that, Mahomes and Murray, crazy high upside. Tyreek Hill, crazy high upside that goes in there. Marquise Brown, Elijah Moore, still with like on the upside play. I think he played upside really well on this. Chris Carson might not have a neck. I don't think this dude plays football anymore. Naheem Hines is probably a guy you never really you're not stoked on this. I'm with Johnny that Myles Gaskin could be the best running back in Miami. I'm concerned a little bit. I'm easy come, easy go. He needs a few things to work out for him. He might not have a running back on the squad. Like Saquon Barkley he could already be like essentially done. He could be outside of that starting RB1 group. I hope I'm wrong, but he could be. Travis Etienne has never taken an NFL snap. He's coming off a serious injury. Gaskin's got a lot of other running backs around him. Carson, I don't think ever suits up again. And Hines has never been a starting guy. So like you got some concerns. This is, when I say these things and break it all the way down and say it out loud again, it's actually got to go now. I'm sorry on this one, but it's got to go.
He's changing the grade.
Yeah, it's an upside. It's a C with a high ceiling C plus.
It's high ceiling. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's great. Remember, guys, the grades don't matter at all, but we love them. And we are going to do our number 1 fan as our final grade here, Jacob Bley.
Before Underdog.
Yeah, we're going to be doing draft on Underdog, so stick with us. We'll get that link out to you. $3 draft on Underdog, and you can download the app right now. Go to the App Store, get the Underdog app, or go to underdogfantasy.com and use the promo code TFW for up to $100 of matched money. All right, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. So 2 of the youngest, brightest stars at the quarterback position for Jacob Bley. And then he drafted in the 11th and 12th a couple rookie quarterbacks in Pickett and Corral as well to pair with those 2 young guns. At the running back position, he's got J.K. Dobbins and Josh Jacobs, followed by Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard, and the rookie Ford. So I don't mind the running back situation here. Let's see. At wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Lockett, and Mechie here. So a little bit thinner at wide receiver because he did go pretty heavy on the running backs early. And then we have Kyle Pitts at the tight end and Robert Tonyan to close out the draft in the 15th round. So, Austin, I'll start with you on this one for Jacob Bley.
I really like this team, guys. Like I just need to talk it out loud a little bit here to put a solid grade together. But like Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow quantifiably should be fine this year. They should both be better than they've been in years past. And it's a fun group. It's a fun duo. Like you got 2 young Gen Z quarterbacks with big ass cannon arms. Like fun. I like it a lot. And then Kyle Pitts, unicorn, 2nd-year tight end coming in. Like you like that. That's exciting. Jacobs and Dobbins, you're not feeling bad about seeing those 2 guys start as your running backs for you. You're not. And then Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney. It's not the strongest duo at wide receiver, but I like McLaurin. And then Mooney should be fine as that number 1 in Chicago. I think they're going to have a lot of garbage time, and Fields and Mooney played really well together. I like that link up this year. And then Lockett, and you got some depth pieces there. And then Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard, good number 2 running backs that could be the number 1s when it's all said and done this year. I think it's a B+ team for me. I think it's going to win you some games now. I don't think you're scrapping or scavenging for pieces next year. I think the squad sets you up well. It's a good foundation. It's got some intimidating pieces to it with some ceiling plays. It's not all the way there, but I think you give yourself a good dynasty to build from.
Yeah, I like Ronald's point here, kind of echoing what you're saying with the B here. You need to go more wide receiver in dynasty, but still solid. But because of the wide receiver core, I would say B-. Johnny, what do you think? You agree with the guys here on a B?
I have a
complete A.
Yeah, I
Best
think
one.
I think this team is the most complete. There's their depth or lack of depth at the wide receiver position for sure. But when you're talking about overall team and having confidence starting, I think that this team has the most solid contributors going into this, and I think that the upside is still there. Sure, some things still have to happen. We'll see with Pickett and things like that, but overall, I really like this team.
For me, I would have been right there with you there if the 2 rookie running backs he had selected, maybe if he would have gone like rookie running backs instead of quarterbacks, given he's got Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, who are young cannon arms already. If he had given himself a couple lotto tickets at the running back position there to go behind J.K. Dobbins and Josh Jacobs, then I think I would be there with you on this build. It's something nice to think about actually moving forward as you pick up those lotto ticket rookies as they come in.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We did it.
All right. Well, that
all of them
is our sleeper draft, but we are not done mocking yet. And this next draft will be for some Skriller, some money.
Skrillex.
Yeah, for some Skrillex.
For Skriller.
But we've got the underdog draft. I'm just getting it started.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Guys, you want to? Yeah, I will. I have the link. I just need you to share the screen because I got locked out of my laptop or the desktop version. So if Austin, once I give you the link, if you could share the screen. Johnny, you want to give a rundown of what we're doing here?
Wait.
For Underdog?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a 6-person, $3 entry fee best ball league through Underdog. And then here can do the breakdown here for what each. It's half PPR. Hold on.
It's half point PPR. It'll be here. I got it right here.
I will share the screen here for Underdog. Coming up, share screen.
Let me know when you guys are in, and then I'll drop the link right here on YouTube. Scott, I know you're asking here. If you guys are still with us, go ahead and stick around. We're going to drop it right in YouTube. Drop the link here. It's in the private chat for you boys, and then I can drop it for our listeners as well.
Oh, yeah. Your boy got it.
Oh.
See, it did the same thing to me and then locked me out.
Locked you out?
Well, on the desktop, I've got my...
That's weird.
Johnny, are you able to share your screen for it? Because I think
Might
it's
be
doing the
able
same
to.
thing for our desktop versions. It's the location, man. They want to know everything. They want to know.
Well, we've done this before. We've already done this one before, so this is a strange new thing coming in.
Asking me again.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to try to pull this one up here through mobile.
What's up, Z, in here? I don't know, randomly saying Kelvin Benjamin in here, but I appreciate you. We are going to drop that link here shortly.
Oof. It's not. Why isn't it giving me on mobile also?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's locking you out
For the location. It's asking for location services again.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's got to know. I guess it must reset that ask or something.
Yeah, something like that. Just a second. Hopefully.
I guess.
And
it
again,
can
Whisper
go
Nation, you can join us on this Underdog draft. We're about to post the link here, but go to underdogfantasy.com or use the app in your app store. Use the promo code TFW, and you will get up to $100 in matched money if you use that promo code.
You don't have permission to use your location. Please update your browser settings.
Austin is trying to let the robots monitor his brain right now, and then he'll be able to join the draft.
Yeah, and usually it's giving me the settings options to allow for these things.
Yeah, Ronald's similar situation, saying I could if they let me, but they say I can't in my location.
Well, I'd say don't let me hold this one up. Why don't you just go ahead and drop in the link, and I'll see if I can get it in there in time. But go ahead and
Okay, we'll drop it in here.
We have
It's kind of like a race.
yeah.
half PPR, 0.1 for every receiving yard, 0.1 for every rushing yard, like normal. Passing touchdowns are 4 points, 2-point conversions, obviously 2. Fumble lost, -2. Interception is only -1. 0.04 for passing yards. Rushing and receiving, you each get 6 points.
Sweet.
And it is
We've
one
got
quarterback.
2 more, and then we'll be filled.
Awesome. So we got 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 12 bench spots.
12 bench always gets me. Big bench in the best ball. Well, in the smaller league.
We gotta let Whisper Nation free.
Yeah, I know.
Freak
Freak Stomper saying, wish I could play. Texas says no. Ronald says freak.
We got lucky this year.
One more spot, Austin.
One more spot.
Dun, dun, dun,
You
dun,
know how to
dun,
change
dun, dun, dun.
your location settings?
Not on the desktop. I couldn't figure it out.
Usually it just pops up and it's like, hey, do you want to
Right.
allow your settings? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Let me see if I can try and find it.
Don't wait for me to whisper.
Pretty easier. It should be easier on your phone, Austin, if you wanted to try that. Because I think you just go into general. If you can.
Again, that hasn't been an issue either in the past.
Right. Let's see. Maybe you got to go into the app. Let me see. I like that they let you search for it, though.
What do they have, like a thing that just came and swept through a bunch of the location or reset the location?
Must have been, because there hasn't been any issues with doing this in the past.
I think they probably have maybe they have a timer on it.
Oh, that could be a point.
So if you go to location services and then do while using, change Underdog to precise location and then while using.
Where's that under?
On your settings, you can search location services.
Oh, okay.
And then if you go to privacy location and then
I see.
got it.
LMNOPQRSTU Underdog while using the app. Let's do it with that. Precise location. Beautiful. Okay. Now, hopefully no one gets there before I do.
Dude, this is about to be epic. If you get in here.
I drafted terrible last year. Oh, wait, Scott, you were saying you had a beast team. Scott was saying you had a... Do you get it? You land it?
Thinking about it.
Oh, waiting. Got
Is
it.
that you?
That's me.
Yeah, baby.
There we
We're
go.
in. All right.
Oh, baby,
drive
got
now
the 101.
starts.
Yeah, draft starts in a minute. Your boy
Look
got
at
the
us
101.
consecutive here. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3.
Let's go. Let's go.
And so, Whisper Nation, if you're tuning in here, it's a best ball draft, meaning we're drafting 20 rounds on it between the 6 of us, and it will automatically set our lineups every single week, right? It will
Yes.
take the best possible lineup set after it's all said and done, and it'll put those players in, and that will be your lineup. And so we'll get to see at the end of the year, well, I mean, week by week, and then at the end of the year, how everybody in this tournament does. That's exciting. So we're going for upside.
Starts in 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's go. Your boy.
See you later. Do it 420. Thanks for
Thanks for
stopping
coming in,
by.
brother.
Love it.
Not a shocker there. Ooh, big Travie. Taking Cooper Cup, huh?
Cooper Cup.
Would you have taken Jonathan Taylor if I would have taken Cooper Cup first?
I don't know. I took Taylor in the sleeper draft, so I probably had enough Taylor for one night.
Oh. Enough Taylor exposure to last you a lifetime, huh?
Taylor's the one that kind of hurts me a little. In redraft in our League of Record, I took him his rookie year, and he didn't get going until way late in the year. It was aggravating to own him. And then the next year, he was the RB1.
Yeah, so you're a year early on him.
Yeah. And Gibson. Gibson had Gibson and Taylor that year, their rookie years.
Just a year ahead.
Yeah. Well, Gibson actually was a lot better his rookie year than last year because of the shin, but I think that Gibson is a guy that is going to have a good bounce back year this year.
Mm-hmm.
So draft him right here, Johnny.
Hey, you won't. You draft before me. You can get him.
No, I'm going to leave him for you.
My team's going to be
Unless Austin
stacked.
takes him.
My team's going to be so stacked.
Shit, of course it is.
I bet it will. I bet it will be.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Jamar Chase. I was hoping he would fall to me. Because unlike Travis, I wasn't afraid of the double dip on Jamar.
Wasn't
today.
afraid.
I wasn't afraid.
Well, Jamar Chase is different.
Oh, now Jamar Chase is different. Unreal, dude. You know what? You've changed.
Isn't that the point?
Ah, damn it. I want a Debo.
Debo's just got that crazy upside
Yeah.
that he brings because they use him out of the backfield. They like to throw it to him. He's now like kind of the heart and soul of that offense. I mean, they have him walking out leading the pack wearing that big ass chain. You know what I mean? They don't even know who their quarterback is. But they know they got Debo Samuel.
Awesome. What's the Tyreek Hill is gone adjustment for Travis Kelce now?
Do you think it changes things?
I think he's going to be in line for more targets than he already gets. I think he could have he could have one of his best years this year, I think.
Tyreek was a safety blanket for Patrick Mahomes. Now, so was Travis Kelce. And I'd say Travis Kelce is probably more of a safety blanket, but I like to sleep on the bed with 2 blankets sometimes. And if one is gone, I'm cozying up to that other even more.
Yeah, dude. Then it's your new favorite.
Right, it is. So I think you're right.
I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook here.
That's a pretty good one.
Just kind of was hanging around.
Hanging around. Austin's on the clock.
Been hanging around this time. Oh, yeah. I don't know what the actual lyrics are right there.
Ooh, Mark Andrews. I was looking at him. I was eyeing him.
We talked about Mark Andrews, Johnny, you and I think on the episode that Travis wasn't with us for best ball. And I think that Mark Andrews to me is like the epitome of a best ball tight end. I mean, he's already like a top 3 tight end most of the time, but as you like to point out, like usually that comes from a handful of really high scoring games. So for best ball purposes, that's like especially nice. Just make sure you get a couple other ones too.
Yeah. I like that point. It's,
Ronald in here didn't get our sarcasm here. Says it's best ball. All teams should be stacked. It's a 6-man league.
It's true.
exactly.
It's true.
It's true.
But mine's going to be especially.
But it's still. But it yeah.
But mine's juicy.
It still doesn't stop me from talking about how stacked my team is.
Oh my God, it's so good to do these and then get to have 8 months pass. See where they actually line up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What'll be cool is Underdog allows you, once we do all these, to see your exposure. So you'll get to see who you're which guys you draft the most of.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it has
cool.
that.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool.
Yes, I wanted both these guys.
No.
Yes.
Ah.
CeeDee Lamb.
I wanted AJ Brown or CeeDee Lamb, and then they're both gone.
You're gone, Travis.
What am I going to do?
You're going to cry all Christmas morning.
Oh, I hate these players.
I hate these players. They're in the top 30.
Retroactive sarcasm.
Yeah.
I love that. No, I was just kidding.
No. Oh, Ronald, this is what happens when you come late, dude. You miss all the inside jokes. No, it did. I bet it did sound like it was retroactive, though.
Johnny, the Kyle Pitts pick up there. What do we think about this? Actually, I don't ask Johnny. I know he likes it. Travis, do you like Kyle Pitts as a best ball tight end?
What? Oh, you were asking me? I thought you were going to ask Johnny.
No, I was going to ask him. Then I know you're about to draft the player.
Hold on,
here,
I'll get somebody here. I got Scott.
No, I mean, we can we should just distract him right now and just it messes up this pick here.
I guess I'm just going to put my money where my mouth is on Antonio Gibson here.
Nice, I like it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Scott saying Debo is a horrendous pick. Why would Debo be a horrendous pick? Explain to me, Scott.
Yeah, I'd like to hear this.
I'd like to hear you explain away how Debo Samuel isn't like one of the best fantasy assets there is.
I mean, you could always say
I guess you could say
injury.
Trey Lance.
Well, you could say injury.
Trey Lance maybe would, but I thought they started. I don't know. That's wild to me, Scott.
You know,
I think Scott wanted him. I think that's what it was.
You were asking.
Debo Samuel is like gonna. I don't want to like project a tragic finish, but I get some like Chris Carson vibes out of Debo Samuel in that this dude is so mean and aggressive and loves to play football this way. Like he is a football player's football player, as far as I'm concerned. But he's just hurt all the time, and he doesn't let him slow him down. It's one of those things you like tell him to slide, and he's like, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
Who is that?
Debo Samuel. Like he's just such a pit bull.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, dude, the way you play football gets you hurt. And he's like, so be it.
Well, he reminds me of Anquan Bolden. You know, like
yeah,
Anquan Bolden played that same like reckless abandonment kind of thing. And
Scott's saying too many rushing touchdowns last year, unsustainable. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine, but we're not taking him as the number one wide receiver in fantasy either. Like, we're taking him, I think, where you can take him.
Yeah, and why is that unsustainable? You don't think I think he could do just as much as
he was the first wide receiver to ever rush for double-digit touchdowns.
But he's like the first Debo Samuel.
He's not a wide receiver. He's not a wide receiver.
He's
a
football player.
Yeah.
And I just got to take a second to call out. Like we have the receipts on this one, but when we started to watch Debo Samuel start to pick it up a little bit, and I was like, I think this could impact the running game. I got some papoos on this panel saying, nah, it's a flash in the pan. And that flash stayed bright.
Well, yeah. Of course you're going to like it was the same as Cordero Patterson, who's scoring on a ridiculous clip. It's like you're going to say that, yeah. And again, once I'll point out, like we had never ever before seen a running back or a wide receiver score 10 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, but I don't know why we wouldn't again. Like the 49ers have multiple quarterbacks. They run with so many running backs. Debo Samuel they use wherever they feel like. It's brought them a lot of success. I don't know why they wouldn't expand the program.
It's just like once in a while, these offensive juggernauts get a guy like an Alvin Kamara or a Cooper Kupp that they just decide to use as their guy, and that's what they're going to do with Debo. Like
maybe Tyreek Hill. Kind of.
Shanahan said last year, yeah, exactly. Tyreek Hill's a good one too. All the jet sweep stuff they do. Shanahan said last year that when Debo Samuel would tell him in games, "Give me the ball," he said, "Yeah, Debo just told me to give him the ball, and when Debo talks, I listen." That's what Shanahan said in a press conference. So again, like I think Debo carries some big weight, and he's the main vein for the San Francisco 49ers. Like, why wouldn't he continue to be? He's a huge playmaker for them. Maybe injury. Yeah, you could say injury, but that's not something we're drafting for really anyways, other than like, I think that's why he's not being taken, even higher.
I didn't know that Kyle Shanahan had said that about Debo.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that guy, he came on last year and then just never stopped. But remember, in his rookie year, in his rookie year, he showed us a lot of this ability. And then Brandon Ayuk was drafted and had a good year, and Debo was hurt, and we were like all on Ayuk's nuts. And Debo reminded us why Debo was who he was.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I do think a part of it also was the fact that like they didn't like their running game, like their running backs got so heavily injured in the beginning and they didn't really have a plan. So then it was like,
but Elijah Mitchell came back
like,
and averaged like 15 carries and they still ran Debo in the end zone. Like,
no, I know. Again, I think it started off as a, hey, we need to run the ball. And so like, let's get Debo the ball because he's a yak guy. So like, let's do that. And so we can get our running backs back and healthy. And then it was like, oh, wait, like they were doing that and he was being super efficient with it. So then they were just like, oh, wait, we
stumbled into this game plan.
Yeah. Of like using him that much. And then they were like, wait, why would we do anything different? Like, this is amazing. This works.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Honestly speaking, like, why not? I think that's a very fair take on it. And sometimes you end up going a direction out of necessity. And then it ends up working. And you're like, whoa, look, like maybe Cordarrelle Patterson is another name that was exactly like that, but it was successful. And on Debo over Patterson's side, like they rode this mentality deep through the playoffs. And they're still dealing with an inexperienced quarterback, regardless of who's the quarterback. And Debo is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think about Cordarrelle Patterson? I mean, he seems to me like a best ball darling kind of thing. If you get him a little bit later on, so he's not a huge risk. But what are your expectations? Johnny, I'd love to hear from you on this one, just because you've been on him and had a good sniff out on Cordarrelle Patterson. What do you think about him coming in this year?
Johnny, you were on him and you
dude, I sniffed it.
Yeah, when you guys were having
superstar. You guys were in each other's bedroom.
Hey,
each other's butts.
Again, it was like it just had to do with that coaching system, and then what I've seen happen. I didn't necessarily know that Cordarrelle was going to produce as well as he did, but then again, you start to see what system is going to be ran, and then the upside or potential in that system. So what's going to be intriguing here is you got them. Atlanta, they brought in Damian Williams, and then we'll see what they do in the draft. But potentially you could still get value because a lot of people still are like, oh, is this like a one-hit wonder kind of thing? Plus, we'll see what they do in the draft again. But I also do think that he could be a guy that kind of we overdraft, because very similarly, like you watch some of those touchdowns that he scored, and they were like, you can't bank on that kind of product. Like it wasn't stuff like, turn around and hand it off at the 2-yard line and he storms up the middle and scores, 5 or 6, 7 touchdowns that way. It was like some, glitch, like pardon the, use of the word, but like, it was like literally the safety forgot about him and he's standing all alone, and Matt Ryan just is like, oh, wait a second, Cordarrelle Patterson's wide open. All right, I'll just throw it to him, and there's a 50-yard touchdown, so I have, depending on where he goes, I think that he could still be like, he's still going to have some good games, but again, like I don't know how much of what we saw last year is repeatable.
Yeah, I wouldn't be drafting CPAT though as that guy. I'm drafting him as one of 2 players draftable on the Falcons. Like he's one of two ways that they're going to get the ball moving around. And that should mitigate a lot of what's like stressing us out about CPAT from the high efficiency last year. I would imagine that you're really excited about CPAT in a different light this year because everybody's gone,
Mm-hmm.
They brought him back.
Yeah. Got it.
All right, dude. Left him for the pickings here. Take my guy.
Even if Cordarrelle Patterson is like their last option to score points and this team is worse than it was last year, you're not going to want to put up zeros. Like eventually you're going to have to go to the guy who can get you points, and Cordarrelle Patterson show that he can do that for him. It might not be the most efficient way to go about it, but it might be the only option they end up having in Atlanta. And he might get one more year of that.
It's like a rich man's Rashad Penny. Like, why are we excited about Rashad Penny? Because he's probably going to be all Seattle has for the most part in the run game. Now you look at CPAT, like we've seen him do it already. So
you've seen him do it.
I'm all that you have.
I mean,
there is no one else. There is nobody else. It's just me.
Yeah, it is.
I love the Kyle Pitts tweet that went around, right as like Atlanta was talking to Sean Watson, and he was like, "It's about to get wild and crazy in Atlanta."
Oh,
and
yeah.
Basically, Russell Gage left, Matt Ryan left.
It was
and it was
because
just CPAT and Pitts, dude.
Well, it's
like
because
we're about to get it going.
Yeah,
dude, they had this whole like idea of getting the band back together because who was it? Oh, AJ Green was going to sign there in Atlanta if Deshaun went there. Who was the other receiver? There was another bigger named receiver that was going to sign there if Julio, or sorry, not Julio, but if Deshaun was going to go. Like they had this whole plan to get this team like put together. Oh, Uncle Lenny was going to go to Atlanta and sign with Atlanta. But then that fell through, so that's why he returned to Tampa Bay. Well, and Tom came back, and then so he went back to Tampa Bay. But
so Ronald's interesting point here of that's what we said about Mike Davis last year. How did that work out? I mean, we looked at Mike Davis as an opportunity-based play, right? We're like, this guy's okay, we get it, but we're not stoked about him all season long, and we ended up losing his job to Patterson. But like Patterson did it.
Patterson's a lot different than Mike Davis, dude. Like, we're seriously, like, right, Ron? Like, you have to be like kidding, right?
Dude, don't talk
Patterson
about it.
is a weapon. He's a Debo light, dude. He's not Mike Davis, dude, an old journeyman running back
with huge thighs.
Yeah, dude. Oh shoot.
You got S7s.
I gotta go. Okay.
Oh man, that was a great pickup. Damn it. That was a really good pickup.
Nice, Travi.
We'll see. Everybody's on Breece Hall's. Where do you think he goes, Johnny? Miami.
yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh my God.
Hold on, let me make this pick.
Atlanta?
You know what? I'm gonna do it, dude.
Atlanta would be nice.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get my boy, Rashad.
I love that pickup. It's a good one.
Honestly, I could see the Cardinals getting Breece Hall. He would fit so well in this, and like giving him a good like year, 2 years behind James Conner to kind of like not necessarily be the guy, but like if something happened to James Conner, he could carry the workload there. So I do think that that's an intriguing spot. Where else do I think that would be really nice if he went? Not Seattle, because I just took Rashad Penny, but I mean, if he landed there, you would be really excited, right? And that would just completely tank the slight value that Rashad Penny's starting to get. Where would you want him to go?
The Raiders, I know Josh Jacobs is there, but he hasn't really ever like wowed us. I'd like to see somebody go to the Raiders that could take over the job and like
DJ Khaled it.
Yeah, I just think that. I mean, Atlanta's a good one. I'm trying to think. Last year, the teams that we're talking about, like Miami's got too many guys now.
Yeah, so you don't want. That's the other thing. Is like last year, I
There
feel
were a
like
lot
we were,
more
like,
open running
many-
back rooms.
Yeah, well, and enticing ones, right? Like we knew Pittsburgh had an enticing running back
Right.
room. Like we, Kansas City. Well, no, Kansas City didn't draft. We thought maybe there's some potential there. No, CH.
You're muted, Austin. I don't know if you're.
Do you think that Breece Hall goes in the first round?
I don't think so. I don't think any running back's projected to go in the first round right now.
So he could really go then to any squad. Do you think a
Right.
squad is going to go like the Najee Harris route with him to have him be their dude this year, or is it more of like the Javonte Williams where we're gonna get our guy, but we don't
It'll
need him
depend
to be
on-
the dude this year?
It'll depend on scheme. Like we're not surprised because Najee Harris went there and did that because Mike Tomlin loves his bell cow backs when he can get them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll depend on where he goes. I just don't know. I'm just trying to think of these teams that are like maybe the Chargers. I know this is scary because Eckler's there,
Oh,
Mm,
Chargers.
but the
Mhm.
Chargers need a thumper.
Mhm.
They need a bigger back.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's kind of a team that's all in on skill positions. They like to play the Madden route. You know,
Right.
Herbert signing Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. They could kind of use another weapon too.
Yeah,
It's not a bad play.
I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah, that'll be fun. When's the draft? It's coming up.
Yeah, is it this month?
Yeah,
It
it's at the
is.
end of
Yeah.
at the end of April.
Our live stream will be popping off for that bad boy.
I always remember that it's around in April because the Cardinals drafted Matt Leinart when I was at my lifeguarding orientation, which was right before the summer in April. And I remember getting the call that we got Matt Leinart, and holy smokes, was I excited that we got Matt Leinart. Wow, that was fun.
I won't lie, dude.
Are you still excited?
I was very disappointed that we did not get Adrian Peterson that draft. I was so mad. Because obviously I was a Sooners fan. I don't like the Trojans, so I didn't
Mhm.
really want Matt Leinart. So yeah, that talk about like one of those moments you're like with the DK kind of thing. It was like, oh my gosh, Adrian Peterson
Johnny.
instead of Matt Leinart.
Johnny, not a fan of Trojans, hence why he has a baby due in June.
Oh, no.
Unreal.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Wow, dude. That was pretty
Nice.
good, actually. Yeah, that was pretty good.
No, I'm not happy about it
Excited
now.
for Baby J
I'm
Baby J
jacked.
coming up.
Baby J coming
on
out
deck.
soon. Should be jumping into the fantasy stats and analytics ASAP.
You know how like you put headphones on a baby, you know, and you on your wife's stomach, and they listen to music. You know, Johnny's playing just him saying like repeating fantasy stats for Baby J, so
Yeah.
that when she comes out, she's gonna be like, DeAndre Swift.
Is that one of the naming options? Is it DeAndre?
No, I
Wait,
tried.
or girl?
Swift.
Yeah, I did.
Swift is kinda fun.
I tried Deandra. Jay was like, no, not happening.
Swift would actually be a pretty dope name.
Yeah,
Swift Hicks?
Yeah. Right?
Ooh,
Okay.
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
You won't. You won't, Jade? She won't.
She won't. No, she won't.
She
Absolutely
will
not.
She
no,
will
this
not.
won't.
Oh, if you leave him here for me.
Oh, you better not. If you take him, Travis, I'm gonna be
yeah,
so
baby.
damn pissed. Damn it!
Yeah, baby. What it do, baby?
You can still get Robert Woods, Johnny.
Yeah, I left him for you, dude. Or Travis Etienne, your boy.
No, I'm not getting why like that. He's gonna miss like a decent. Damn it, dude. That's all right. I
Why?
got this.
Frazzled
That's fine.
you,
That's
dude.
fine. That's fine. I got Juju.
There's
Juju.
still there's one guy who's really good on here.
Calvin Ridley, yeah, but he's not gonna play.
He's not good. He's not gonna work here anymore.
No, not gonna work here anymore. That's for sure.
I'm just gonna go with some upside here for the C.
Oh,
it's best
just-
ball. Why not?
Yeah,
think
you should probably swing for some upside here in like the 17th round. It's probably a good idea.
Cortland Sutton in some upside.
Oh,
Give
I
me
love
that.
Cortland Sutton. I
That
took
one is
him in the
a good one.
sleeper draft too, just before him. I think
mean,
he's gonna have a monster year.
Russell
Him and
Wilson
Judy.
coming in with an offensive-minded coach. Like, let's go. Let's see it. I know that Judy is the higher pick. I'd rather have him over Cortland Sutton, but I'm not surprised if Cortland Sutton ends up having more fantasy points the end of the year.
Did you
than Jerry
mind
Jeudy does.
having like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf? And that
Right.
was in a probably more run first offense than this is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm excited for Russ and this offense. You know what? I
am,
love these.
man.
You know what these trades have done? And maybe this isn't true. I'd have to look at it. But it feels like it's activated more fantasy stars for us. Like gotten them, or at least broken up some recency bias.
We didn't like the quarterback in Denver, period.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson now, like, he gets an uptick for those other pieces. DK Metcalf is maybe sliding down a round or two, but not really. It doesn't have a huge hit. You're right. Ooh, I like what you're going on this, Travis. I think it did.
This is what I'm talking about. Cordarrelle Patterson went way late down here. I think that's a perfect spot for him to go, especially in this best ball.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think this is perfect. Redraft, he probably will get overdrafted, like you're saying, Johnny. But
yeah. Ooh, nice Zach Ertz pick. I thought he had
Thank you.
already gotten taken.
I know, right?
Damn it! I would have went and Zach Ertz over Logan Thomas.
Well, you can't.
Live and you learn.
And then you get Loves.
So a couple more rounds here. We're going through 20 rounds. Johnny is making his 18th round selection.
Austin, you drafted Rashad Bateman last draft in that sleeper draft. How do you feel about Rashad Bateman year 2?
I mean, he just has a chance to come in and be a real impact player. It could fall a little bit flat. We know this. That's why he's still available as late as he is. But I like the upside. I liked him coming out of the draft last year. I like what we saw, limited performance of him. And, we'll see. What about you?
Bateman's exciting, right? Like, I feel like he could actually unlock a lot for Baltimore, because if you get a healthy Lamar, a healthy Bateman, healthy Marquise, healthy Mark Andrews, healthy J.K. Dobbins, like, this offense could be elite again.
Yeah.
And I think that Bateman's kind of that missing piece.
Joe Flacco elite?
He was.
Probably that level. Yeah. I mean, the big question is Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Still, can he sustain more than Mark Andrews as, like, even just as a top heavy play? Like, Marquise Brown had some really nice plays here and there. The question is still, the jury is still out. We'll see. But in best ball, I like it. Taking him late ish.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where Lamar, you could spend time picking it apart, but I feel like if it's good for the gander, it's good for the goose. And Lamar's got so many skill positions around him, as long as they're healthy. Like last year, I think Baltimore had one of the best, or one of the highest, not best, highest IR rates of any team. So, like, imagine if that team can get healthy and put all the players on the field at the same time, full training camp, Dobbins and Edwards back. Yeah.
With you, Ron.
Baseball.
Coming down to the last round here. Me, Travi, and Johnny got one more pick left. Any clues on where you guys think you're going to go?
I might get Bateman unless you snag him here.
It's all yours.
I'm gonna go with the good old friend,
Robert Woods.
Someone, something that you visited before, an old friend.
I'm going to take Rondale Moore. That's my friend.
All right. No, that's good.
Go DJ Chark.
It was Rondale Moore is a good pick.
DJ Chark.
No, I'm going. I don't think you guys would ever guess who I'm going.
Ever? I like Ramondre
I mean,
Stevenson too.
All right.
Never guess.
Hey, we're returning.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's a
nightmare on Edelman Street.
What?
Julian Edelman? What?
Do you guys miss that? I completely went over my head until a buddy mentioned it. Julian Edelman coming out of retirement, signed with Tampa Bay to reunite with Tom Brady.
Are you sure that was real? Because it was on April Fool's.
Oh, damn it. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right here. April Jules.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that, and then yeah.
Who was the last pick? It was
Patriot fans
Julian
might-
Edelman.
Yeah. Patriot fans might not love Julian Edelman's April Fool's Day joke.
Oh my gosh. What did I do? I just wasted a good pick on you, Julian Edelman.
$3 worth too. Yeah.
April
Oh,
Fools.
that sucks.
I love that. Dude, I love that you fell for that.
Hey, we just got to air it out. Make a clip of this.
That really sucks, dude. I needed that other wide receiver, man. I was so jacked. I really thought I had one there.
Oh, Johnny.
I knew I should
I
have
love it.
checked that. Nah.
Well,
wonder-
as always, we love drafting with all of you guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate the underdog
Yes.
draft here. And of course, the sleeper draft for Ronald. All the people in here, Calvin Brown, Scott. Who else was in here? Freak Stomper, Do It 420. Z stopped by.
It's
Jaws, we saw Jaws Wheaton. Rob Shorter was
Oh,
in
yeah.
here. Mr. Miyagi, Calvin Brown. Man, we had a full house tonight. It was great. Johnny,
Let's
you got
go.
any final words for Whisper Nation?
Don't draft Julian Edelman. He's not back.
What about you, Austin?
No, just man, it's great to be with all of you, Whisper Nation here. Can't wait to keep doing this with you all season long. It's favorite thing to do.
Yes. And we'll be back on Thursday. So make sure you're subscribed on all platforms, including YouTube right here. Hit us with that like button and catch us on Thursday night as we go live, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. Appreciate you. For Austin Sear, for Johnny Game Time Hicks, I'm Big Travie, and we're the Fantasy Whisperers. We're out.
Peace.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check out one of these videos.